Hi, this is Carl Bissonette and Wyatt Grahn with Tips and Tricks again. Um, we're here with another episode. Um, we're going to be working through with this horse, getting her to be a little bit crisper on the cluck. And again, we're going to start with our pre-cue um, as always. And then after the pre-cue, we're going to slowly progress that pressure until she goes into the speed that we want. This is important whether we're just trotting off. This is important whether we're working in a turnaround. Whatever, we want them to respect that verbal cue, that cluck. The other thing I really try to think about for myself with my training is I want to ask that horse once. I want a single cluck, and I want that horse to pick up that pace. A lot of times, I think we kind of get pedaling our horses with the cluck, with the kiss, in kind of the same way we pedal our horses with our feet. And we're going to just work on crispening that up a little bit and go from there. So, again, this is Wyatt Grahn. Want to tell us a little bit about the horse that you're on, what you got going, and what you're looking for out of her, and go from there.
Yeah, this is 3-year-old. Put 30 days on her this winter. Just kind of bringing her back right now. Um, so kind of just trying to take what we learned in 30 days and just sharpening all that up, so we can start going to work and using everything we know. But yeah, just right now, just trying to focusing on sharpening everything up and finding the holes in what we know. Um, so when we go to work, uh, we're not hanging up with anything, Um, she can focus on the job and not focus on how to move her feet or what I'm asking. All that's concrete at that point. So that's what we're focused on right now.
Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get her going. And um, we'll really, with her, she's on her last training session. She got caught being a little on the lazy side. Um, so that being said, and I think that's something that many folks will face throughout the training. It's this idea of having a good soft approach, which is really good. Got to explain things, got to teach things. Um, but then how to make that transition out of that and get some life in that horse. So you'll notice he'll go ahead and he makes that cluck, and that horse better go. And if he doesn't, spur him up into it. And when we're talking about spurring a horse up into it, even though we're spurring a horse up into it, we're really fair about it. And how we can be fair about it as a horse trainer is we give them the pre-cue, the cluck, and then we're going to start out with the lightest tap possible. And we're slowly working that up to bigger, 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 bigger until the horse responds, and then we release. And the hope is the next time they take that suggestion sooner so we don't have to go further into it. Good. So what he's doing here is he's holding this horse in frame, keeping him soft on the calf. That was very nice. That's a big transition for that horse. Cluck the first time. And let's go ahead and drive a little bit more life, cluck again, and get more speed. And same progression from the walk to a trot. We can go from a slow trot to a fast trot. Yep, speed her up. There you go. Ask again. Let's get some life there. There you go. There you go. Go ahead and bring her down into a walk now again and check that transition. Ooh, much better. Much better. Very good. Does it feel like she's respecting that cluck a bit more?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and work through it. Yep, that same progression on that same side, or on the switching sides there. There you go. Good. And even just keep her in the trot there, and do that like you did with the other. Ask a cluck, ask for that faster trot, see if she respects that. Very nice. Go ahead, bring her down into the walk. Good. Good. She picked that up a lot better. She was a little slow, but that slow was thinking, not because she was being lazy. She was processing that. Good. In the horse world, we're doing two different things almost all the time. We're either desensitizing or sensitizing a horse. When we're sensitizing a horse, we don't want to stop the cue until they speed up. When we're desensitizing, we don't want to stop the cue until they slow down. And so right now we're sensitizing that cue. We're getting more respect out of that spur. We're getting more respect out of that cluck. And he's going to drive her through in the same sense. He's going to see if get her stepping up into a trot with a little bit of this reverse arch. So he's going to just keep progressing that spur until she moves away and picks up the speed. Good job. Way not to let her drive through the spur. There you go. There you go. Go ahead, bring her down into a walk again. Okay, now try to really think, only cluck one time. We want to tell her and then make her with the spur. Drive that spur, drive that spur. Good, now hold it in that frame and hold her in that frame. Keep her moving. Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. There, there, she softened up. Very good. It's just as important to practice these transitions from a walk to a trot, from a trot to a lope, from a slow trot to a fast trot. Getting a little bit of life in these horses. You know, Wyatt's done such a great job getting a really cool, calm mind about this horse. And I think, you know, a lot of y'all do a really good job of getting that soft-minded horse. But then it's a little bit of a struggle. Well, how do I get them to step up to that next level? And, you know, this is a good way to progress that, and in a way that you're explaining it to the horse, you're giving them a fair chance, but you're also making them perform. So great job in that. All right, let's go ahead, bring her nose to the inside. And I want to see you keep on walking her forward into this transition into the front end. And you know, you're going to keep that nose going in the same direction as you're going. But we want to just see if we can make the circle smaller. But I want you to start with the hind end first, making that circle smaller with the hind end. And then when she's really driving underneath herself with the hind end, then think about opening up the inside, cueing on the outside, give her a cluck and see if she comes into that turnaround. And again, it might only be 1 step or 2 steps this time, but see if she does it with a little bit more fortitude. Keep driving that hind end under, good. Keep driving the hind end under, drive that hind end. A little bit of life, get a little bit of a step, not a full trot, but a fast walk, good, good, good. Now when you're ready, go ahead and make that transition. Right there. Great. Awesome. That's an awesome spot to stop her. Any thoughts on that as you're working through that and thinking through the process with her?
No, I'd say the biggest part in that is feeling they have a kind of a tipping point when you're driving them through there, where they're about ready to shut down. So you want to drive them up to that point just about when they're ready to shut down, and then that's when you kind of want to give them the out to come around on the front end when it's a pressure release for them, and that's kind of how you want to make that turnaround a good thing.
Yeah.
And not something they don't like. So that's kind of where that driving the hind end through and then releasing on the front end is doing. It's giving them a good feeling instead of a bad feeling on the front end. That'll help you when you're trying to go faster and that and get more steps out of it.
Awesome. Great job. Thank you again for letting us get to spend some time with you and your horse. Again, you two always do such a great job. It's awesome to get to see the progression in your training and her training as well. And I think, that was a huge step forward for her in that mental process of respecting that cue. And, it's adding a little bit of that pressure and getting them to respond, in the long run, it actually makes their life a lot softer and easier. By all means, we want to cluck once and we want that horse to go, and we don't want to touch them with the spur. But we have to use it as a training tool to get there, and I think that's a very good and very fair approach that you give her. So great job, and thanks again. That's Tips and Tricks with Bissonette and Wyatt Grahn.